No manga, no problem. Anime original series come in all shapes and forms. Some of them are held up as the best anime of all time. Some of them change the way we see certain genres. Some become cult classics, and some become infamous, known for the wrong reasons. No matter what your preference is or what you're currently in the mood for, there's definitely an anime original series out there for you. Trying to come up with a list was very challenging. It started with just a top 5, but there's so many series that are anime originals that I love. So 5 turned into 10, and now we actually have a top 20. Before we jump into the actual list, I'd just like to remind you guys to hit the subscribe button. I appreciate the support as I am getting closer to 1K subs. Thanks everyone. Don't do crack, drink some water, and enjoy. Number 20, Anohana. I know a lot of people are going to think this is a low ranking for this series, and I'm not even mad at them for thinking that because it is a great show, has a lot of emotional pull to it. It's a story about a group of friends that drifted apart after the death of someone in their group, and her name is Menma. She reappears 5 years later to the original group's leader, Jinta. Him, like the other members of the group, all have their own problems and stemming from losing her as a childhood friend. Jinta believes that making her wish come true will help her pass into the afterlife, but she doesn't remember what her wish was when she was alive, and neither does he, so they have to get the group back together. But that in and of itself proves to be a challenge. Definitely a tearjerker story. Objectively, it's one of the best shows on here, but just for me, I have it at number 20. Number 19, Shirobako. Our main character, Miyamori, actually gives us a good insight of how it works to create an episode of anime. We get to see the timeline, how things are turned in, how deals are made, agreements. It's actually chock full of information if you're into the creation process of anime. Number 18, Tsuki ga Kirei. It's one of the best romances I've seen. I think it's a good depiction of school romance of two kids that actually end up falling in love. They have their fair share of heartaches, but the way the story follows it through until the very end and seeing their growth as a couple, it's something that's really beautiful. Number 17, Death Parade. Now this is an entry that I know for a fact I would most likely have higher if I rewatch it. It's been a while, it's a very fun series. Banger opening. When a couple of people die at the same time, they go to this bar, Quindecum, and they're faced with a challenge which basically decides where they will go in the afterlife. Number 16, 91 Days. A revenge plot that is set in the Prohibition era. Angelo, as a child, witnessed the death of his family at the hands of the Venetti Mafia family. Losing everything he holds dear, he adopts a new identity of Avilio Bruno and joins that very same mafia family to get revenge. 91 Days felt very fresh, it's a different setting. It has a strong main character, and his dynamic with the head of the mafia son, Nero, develops into something that is fun to watch and see exactly how it's going to play out. Number 15, Yuri on Ice. The dynamic between Yuri, our main character, and his coach, Victor, is the thing that draws a lot of people in. That is a huge component of the show and is very well done at that. But for me, the thing that resonated was Yuri's final performance. It was really moving. I honestly felt a lot from his final performance. It's one of the best things I've seen in a sporting anime. Oh, and the opening for this anime is one of my favorite of all time. It's a banger. History maker with a good message. Number 14, ID Invaded. This is a series that I don't see many people talk about, but it had a big effect on me, and one episode particular actually moved me to tears because of the subject matter. We follow Sakaido, the brilliant detective, as he jumps into the minds of killers to solve a case. The thing that I personally love about this show isn't the actual mysteries or solving the crimes, but for me, it's about the main character, Sakaido, and his backstory is tragic, and as a father myself, I can't help but to respect the man and the choice he had to make. I think this is one entry that is very personal to me specifically, and as someone who is very empathetic, this show had a huge effect on me. Number 13, Kill la Kill. Yes, it's about fan service essentially. There's tons of it in the series. It's over the top at times, exaggerated, but there's tons of plot twist and development within the story to keep you engaged. It does at least offer some kind of message. And I think it's one of the funniest anime I've seen in a long time. If you can get past the fan service aspect, you'll love the show. Number 12, Violet Evergarden, a visual treat. The story follows Violet Evergarden. When she was a young girl, she was raised to be a tool of war. But now that the war is over, she works as a auto memory doll who transcribes people's thoughts and feelings into words on paper. Through helping clients with their own stories and feelings on matters, it helps her discover how she feels as she is on her own journey to understand the meaning, the words that were left with her by her only loved one. Number 11, Licorice Recoil. This show was a lot of fun. I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. It's about some badass schoolgirls, a bunch of John Wicks really, as they try to stop someone who is on the verge of toppling the safe society they know today. Number 10, Madoka Magica. This is a series that turned its own subgenre on its head. Written by Gen Urobuchi, it offers a different take into the world of magic girls. If you haven't seen it and you aren't sure what it is, this one is best to go in blind. Number 9, Darker Than Black. This is a dark and edgy show that is super cool with a quiet badass MC. Episodic in nature, and I'm usually not a fan of those, but this one introduces cool characters that become contractors after gates appear in South America and Japan 10 years prior to the series beginning. Episode 6 of the series was one of the stronger single episodes I've seen in anime, and although it is episodic, there is a large mystery that Hei, our main character, is trying to solve. Number 8, Angel Beats. This show on the surface is fun and goofy with tropey characters and a lot of comedy being thrown at you. But there will be a turn where it becomes a bit heavy and out of nowhere it catches you off guard. It made me cry and left a lasting impression on me. Number 7, and oh my goodness, I know I'm going to get flamed for this placement. Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is held as a classic, and it is a classic, it's great. Some people have it as the best anime ever. The music alone is iconic in this series, but Spike Spiegel's one of the coolest main characters ever. It just didn't really hit for me personally. I'm not saying it's bad, I think it's great. Everyone should watch it, but for me, I just liked the shows that are ahead of it more. I'm not saying the shows ahead of it are better, it's just out of my own personal enjoyment. Number 6, Samurai Champloo, who was made by the same guy who did Cowboy Bebop. Now, I just personally like this one more. The aesthetic of it, the music's also great in this one. I just personally had more fun with this series. Maybe it's the setting that I preferred more, and maybe I also like the hip hop influence more so than the jazz influence. Number 5, A Place Further Than the Universe, and this is objectively one of the greatest shows and best written shows on this list. It's an amazing and emotional ride as we see 4 girls going on an epic adventure where it starts as a cute girls doing cute things show and turns into something complex with beautiful interactions and dynamics between the characters, all well written and such a strong ending. Please watch this show. Number 4, Code Geass. There's not much I need to say about this show. Lelouch hard carries this entire show on his back and he does it beautifully, well written, strong impressions, smart character, and the ending is one of the best endings in anime. Number 3, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now this show is something that I think if you haven't seen it, you should go in completely blind. Really inspired a lot of people. There's issues with the production at the very end, sure, but the end of Evangelion movie is great. Then the Rebuild series is really good. I really enjoyed those movies and the series as a whole. It felt very experimental and delivers very compelling characters. Number 2, Psycho-Pass Season 1. This show is solid through and through. Interesting world. One of the best MCs on this list in Akane Tsunemori. It has the best villain on this list for sure with Shogo Makishima, and he is most likely my favorite villain in anime period, as we see a perfect world that maybe isn't so perfect when you unveil its secrets on how it maintains that. The dynamic of Ko and Choko Makishima is one of the best rivalries, and it has a great ending. It comes complete with all the things you would want in a show. And number 1, Gurren Lagann. As a wise man once said, a true man doesn't die even if he's killed. Kamina is the best big brother in anime, and he's actually my second favorite character in anything of all time. Yoko Littner is one of my favorite waifus, and the main character Simone has one of the best developments that doesn't get enough love and appreciation for. His story is very moving, as he has the drill that's going to drill to the heavens. It's a super fun series, but it can also get very heavy. It's moved me to tears, and thinking about certain characters even to this day, and I haven't watched it in a while, makes me feel true emotions. I get motivated thinking about Simone, but I also get sad when I think of Simone and the sacrifices he made along the way. It's very goofy, by the way. It's a really fun show. No boring episodes. One of my favorite tracks in anime, Row, Row, Fight the Power. Before I go, I need to ask, who the hell do you think I am? I'm Tiberius, and this is my top 20 anime original series. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay normie, stay weeb, shit even in between is fine. Until next time, peace.